Now we're going to move into our next topic, which is page editing. So we've looked at post. Now we're going to talk about page. A page is basically another content type in WordPress, which we use to create static content. Like About Us page, contact page, documents library. These are examples of pages. Now, the difference between post and pages, it's a bit hard to understand at first, but once you work with WordPress, then you become so familiar with it and you just get used to it. You know when to create a page and when to create a post. Okay. So, page options. Once we go to page on our dashboard, we have this menu like the one you see on top, highlighted in red. You have pages, add new, add multiple, and add link. Okay. The description says listed below. Add new basically adds a new page. Add multiple, you add multiple pages quickly. Okay. So you just click on add multiple, and then you add multiple pages like home, content, contact, about us, document library. You create all at the same time. Okay. Unlike add new, you just add one at a time. You add, save, add, save. Add link. So you add a link directly to maybe a post, maybe a category, maybe an external link. So this is the option where you use to create external links to other type of contents. Okay. I'm going to show you how it looks like. We have it open. Yeah. Okay. So on your dashboard, on the left-hand side, you have this option here for pages, create pages. Okay. You have this add new here, add multiple, and add link. This is the one that I am talking about. Okay. On the right-hand side, you have a checkbox, a button, and a search area. Okay. Now the sync menu, it syncs all your page to a menu. Okay. Now, Stan was talking about DV automatically adding page and post onto your menus. If you want that, if you want the type of feature, you can just click sync menu and it will automatically sync all your page to your menu. Okay. So that's, if you want it that way, you can just click sync menu and it does that. Expand all is when you have nested pages. You have a main page and then at the bottom of it, for example, you have statistics. At the bottom of statistics, you have economics, you have population, demographics, and all this listed below. Okay. So in your page dashboard, it will show you something like this here. Okay. Now if you decided to create or add a new page and put that page under, so let's just do one. So let's add a new page and say nested page. Okay. I can publish it. So this is an example of a nested page. You have a main page. At the bottom of that page, you have a page again. But you can see the indentation there. It's not the same line or the same level as the sample page and the second page. It's a bit indented inwards. Okay. So if you have it closed like this, and for example, you have a lot of pages and you want to see all the pages You can just expand all, and it drops down, it collapses, and you can see all the pages once. So that's the search text box here plus the search button is very useful if you have a lot of pages, okay, and like hundreds of pages there. Okay. So instead of you scrolling down and looking for pages, if you know what you're looking for, you just type it down, and it will automatically bring up that page, so you can just click onto it and just edit it or do whatever you want with it. Okay. Another quick option for these pages you will get is when you hover a page title. Okay. So you have this 3 dot, I don't know what you call these dots, like ellipses or 3 dots. Okay. Stan, do you have a better term for this? Ellipses? Oh, yeah. Okay. This option appears on the rightmost end when you hover a page title. Okay. Like this. So if you hover over that page title, next to that page you have edit with div, and then on your rightmost side you have this quick edit, view, and trash. Okay. So if you click on that ellipsis, you have some more options here. Okay. Quick edit, you have a couple of options that you can do on the fly if you don't want to open that page and go through the sidebar and just customize. You can just do quick edit the page, set a date to that page if you want. And of course do other stuff, so you can just save that page to draft, schedule it, pending review. Okay. We'll talk about the visibility. Here. Okay. So you basically have 4 options. The nested page options, which is represented by this. So if you click on it, you have add child, add page, insert page before. So you have all these page options there. Okay. It may come in handy if you're working on multiple pages and you are tired of creating all these pages here and there. You can just use this one to go in and add a child link, add a child page, insert page before or after. Depends on the task that you're performing. The quick edit, like we've seen, basically has a sort of like a summed up version of what you would have on a page document settings. Okay. What is a page document settings? That's this one here. If we go into second page, I'm talking about this side here. Okay. So that's a document page settings. Here you have a bunch of settings that you can customize, but maybe you just want to change the page title or the author. You just edited the page and you don't want the author to be another person. You want it to be you, or you want to allow comments. Basically, we're not going to use that option, but okay. So it allows you to edit your page very quickly. Not the content of your page, but the settings of your page very quickly. Okay. Then we have view, which basically means just click on it and view the page, and trash, you just remove that page. Okay. Now we move into this sort of site settings here, the page document settings. Now if you look at this site settings here, you will notice a few things. One of it being it is very similar to post document settings. When you open a post, we have the same sort of layout. So we have the status and visibility, we have the other submenus that are listed there, permalinks, featured image, discussion, page attributes. We have this there. On posts, when you open up post to create a new post, you will see something very similar, okay? Like this. Okay. Now the first block here talks about the status and visibility. Okay. So visibility allows you to set the visibility of that page to public, which is visible to everyone, private, visible to site admins and editors, okay? And password protected page. Okay? If you want the page to be edited by someone specific in your organization, like an editor, someone is an editor on your site and you want that person to be able to access that page without other editors having access to it, you can just create a password on it and say this person can access it, and then you give the password to that person. So when he comes and opens this page, he knows the password, types it in, and it goes into that page. Okay. You have publish, which basically gives you the option to set the date of that publish. This page can be very useful if you have sort of like a page that you want to launch. Your site is already there, but you want to basically launch that page. Okay. Then you just set a date. You create that page, and then you just set a date, and then on that day, it will launch. Okay. It will be visible to the public. Okay. And next, you have this pending review. Okay, here. Check this box if you want the page to be reviewed before publishing. Okay. Now, what's review and what's publishing? Okay. So publish a page meaning you put it out there, you make it visible to everyone. Okay. Reviewing the page is just you want it to be seen by other people that looks after the site as well as you, to check the contents first before publishing it. Okay. So you can just check this box and say, let this content stay on the site and let maybe someone come and have a look at this content first before I publish it. And then you have move to trash. It's basically remove this page. You have revisions, which is the next sort of sub-menu below status and visibility. It basically gives a history of your edits on that page so you can roll back to previous state. Okay. So if you did something that you're not really comfortable with, but you like the previous version, then you can just go back to it with revisions. It's very convenient because it gives you the number of revisions as well. So you can see that this page has been revised 3 times, meaning the content has been updated, and for 3 times we have looked at the content on this page and we updated it. Okay. Permalinks are just a full URL you see or use. It's something very common to the web. It's not just WordPress. It comprises of your domain and Slug. Okay, so we were creating post, and we looked at Slug. Okay, it's just a piece that comes after a domain name, and it makes up the permalink of your own site. Okay. So as you can see here, I have page options here, and then this is my domain, NSO training / page options. Okay. This end component here is the Slug. You have the featured image, which is basically not quite common on pages, but it's more common on posts. Because you want a single image that will represent your whole post or page for this instance. Okay. An example would be you upload something regarding CPI, the latest update for CPI, and you want people to look at this post. So what most people do is they upload a feature image with that post. Okay. So it gives you the overall idea of what the post is about. If it's about CPI, then you have something like baskets, food, and all that. Okay. And it can be images, it can be an infographic, cartoon, icons. Okay. Discussions, I think we've talked a lot on not using it, but it's there, so we have to talk about it. Page attributes defines the sitemap, and you can create nested page with these options as well. So if you create a page and you want to put it under another page, and you just look at page attributes and you set that current page to a page that exists already. Okay. The other one that I have not put up there is the order of the pages. Now you might have a number of nested pages that you want the other one to be on top of the other one. Okay. So you want CPI to be on top of business stats or trade or maybe other indicators under your economics menu. So you just order them here. Say 1, CPI, 2, business stats, 3, something like that. Okay. And let's try create a page and see how it goes. Yeah? So if you can navigate to your dashboard and go to pages, you should have something like this. Well, not something like this, but you might have a lot of pages there. And we'll try create a page. So you click on Add New, and it brings you into this Gutenberg editor here, which is something that we will talk about. We're all on the same page? Yeah? Okay. So once you're here, let's create a page. Make sure your title is somewhat descriptive to your page. Okay. Now you don't just give a name there and then on your page content you put like anything there. Okay. So if you create a page to say economics, make sure it contains all economics data. If it's about population, make sure it creates all about everything about population. Okay. So I don't know. Since I mentioned population, I'll just type population here. Okay. So what we've just typed down is the page title. You all got a page title each. Don't copy mine, it's mine. You. Okay, below you have two options. One is using a DV builder, and the other one is using a default editor. Yeah. We'll start with the default editor here. So you can just click default editor and maybe type something down here. So we're actually inside Gutenberg editor now, which is something that we will talk about next. But let's just create a, maybe this is the population page. Okay. You will notice that I've only talked about the document, but there is another option here called block. Do you guys see it? So I've talked about documents, but I haven't talked about block. Okay. The next presentation that we are going to look at is we're going to look at Gutenberg, which brings the idea of block into this scene now. So I haven't talked about blocks yet, but I will. On population, you have visibility. Like I've mentioned, you have public, private, password protected. Okay. Publish, you can either publish immediately, means you click publish here, and it goes on and becomes live. Or you can set a date to it. If you click here, you can set a date to it or a time. Say the embargo date for this release would be blah, blah, blah. And then you set your date and time here. Pending review, we've mentioned that already. Move to trash. Permalink. This is the URL that you're going to go and see that page here. Okay. This is automatic, unless you want to change this, but it's not a very good idea. Okay. I think the only time that you can change this is when you have a very lengthy title, like title that has 5 or 6 words in it. But I think you just leave the permalink there. It does everything for you. Okay. Featured image, we don't necessarily use featured image on pages, but there might be a time that you might need it. Okay. You might need to add a featured image to your page. Maybe it's because you want to style a page and you can use featured image there. Okay. For example, you create a sort of like a statistics page. On your statistics page, you want to create maybe simple placeholders for each of these topics. So for population, if you get the customer, this actually requires some sort of customization, so we won't actually talk about this. Okay. And excerpt as well, that's something to do with post, but discussions, page attributes. Then we have DV settings as well here, okay, which of course we will talk about this, but once we cover the topics, it will make more sense. So basically, why do you have to create a page? Okay. Create a page because you have a static content that you want to put on. Like you have a contact page. You want people to come in and see your address, where you stay, where your office is located. Okay. Maybe you can have an image there of your office in case all your buildings look the same and people get confused. You can just say, mine is this one, it has a big red label on it, something like that. Okay. It's a content that does not change. It remains there forever until your website goes down, or it's like I said, it's a bit confusing to understand page and post at the beginning, but once you create content, and then you will realize, when do I use post and when do I use pages?